Whoa there, Tiger. So hold off for just a second on the downvote, because today's video is not a budget format video. What it is a commentary on game design philosophy within the game of Flesh and Blood, specifically how hero design has been evolving over time. And to paint that picture, we're going to be comparing Classic Constructed and the budget formats. So there's no denying, obviously, that the game has been increasing in power level. The newer heroes have been largely dominating the leaderboards, or at least they have in Classic Constructed. Because in the budget formats, it's actually many of the older heroes that carry that torch. So what drives this difference? And more importantly, what does it tell us about changes in Flesh and Blood's design approach? A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for today's discussion about hero design philosophy and how that's been changing over time. Now, today's cast was inspired in part by a comment left on a recent video. In our discussions about the recent LL multiplier changes, viewer Mirrorminx had some intriguing thoughts. They said, while Aurora may have been slightly too strong, she was no Zen or Chane. If you ever play Living Legend format, it becomes immediately clear that the game has become less powerful over time, not more. Now, I think this is a really astute observation, but from a certain point of view. See, when you look at the game overall, I actually don't agree that it has become less powerful over time. But when looking at hero design alone, I actually do absolutely agree with their take. See, Flesh and Blood has seen a pretty rapid evolution in its hero design, right? With each new set, heroes push the boundaries of power, introducing complex mechanics and synergistic interactions that redefine the Classic Constructed meta. Yet, an interesting phenomenon has emerged over the last 2 years or so. In the budget formats, the heroes released in the early days of Flesh and Blood continue to reign supreme. But in Classic Constructed, the flashier, more recent counterparts define the meta. Now, this trend isn't just some quirky byproduct of the meta. It actually signifies a fundamental shift in Legend Story Studios' design philosophy. So in Classic Constructed during 2025 alone, as of the time of preparing this video of course, new heroes defined here as Miss Vale or later logged 75.6% of the Living Legend points. That is incredibly significant and speaks volumes to the power level of the more recent heroes. Now, while we obviously don't have a comparable and easily collected metric for Commoner, which is Flesh and Blood's only budget format currently being played in Fab's OP events, and hence the vehicle I choose to use here, the consistent top table heroes include the likes of Aria, Chane, OG Kassai, OG Dash, Guardians such as Bravo, with the only relative newcomer being Enigma. Consider heroes like Bravo, Chane, or Aria. These early heroes, with their relatively straightforward abilities and reliance on generic card pools, remain incredibly potent in Commoner. Their core strategies are robust and accessible, allowing players to build competitive decks with common cards and rare cards as it may be soon, that can consistently execute their game plan. Bravo's ability to present value and close games, Chane's build in go again, or Aria's constant +1 value are fundamental and effective, regardless of the rarity of the cards supporting them. In contrast, many newer heroes, despite being objectively more powerful and versatile in Classic Constructed, struggle to find the same footing in Commoner. Take, for example, heroes from recent sets who might have had incredibly strong on-hit effects, complex resource generation, or intricate keyword synergies. While these abilities are devastating when paired with powerful rare, majestic, and legendary equipment and cards, they often fall flat when restricted to Commoner's card pool. Their reliance on specific, often higher rarity support pieces means their full potential cannot be realized within the format's constraints. Without the complementary pieces that truly unlock their strengths, these newer heroes can feel disjointed and less impactful. So to back up my point here, let's look at admittedly an odd comparison, yes, rated by myself, so certainly subjective, but we're going to look at Fab's first year or so of sets versus the last year or so of sets. I have given each hero a simple rating as to their viability within the Commoner format. Bad means that the hero really struggles within Commoner, often not having the tools with which to have an identity. Okay means they can perform acceptably, and good means they are a strong meta contender. Meta, of course, means they are a top-tier hero pick. Certainly it's not the most robust scoring system and is certainly subjective, but applying my scoring equally, we will still see a clear discrepancy. heroes from the first year or so of Fab, as compared to the last year or so, have a much greater meta presence in Commoner. This divergence in performance highlights a significant shift in design philosophy over the years. The early Flesh and Blood heroes were often designed as defining strategic pieces. Their abilities were potent enough to largely dictate the archetype's playstyle, with generic cards serving as fuel for their inherent power. A Bravo deck was a Bravo deck because of Bravo's intrinsic ability to dominate the defensive game, not solely because of the key pieces he could run. Now, a major contributing factor to this disparity is the increasing focus on powerful Majestic cards as synergistic pieces. As Flesh and Blood's card pool expands, there's a clear trend towards designing heroes whose maximum potential is unlocked by specific, high-impact Majestic attacks, reactions, or utility cards. These Majestics are often crucial for enabling a hero's most potent lines of play. Now, that isn't to say that a Crippling Crush isn't a major piece to OG Bravo or a Glint the Quicksilver for Dorinthea, but those cards are not anywhere near as essential to their functional playstyle as, say, an Arc Lightning for Aurora, or even more extreme, Felling of the Crown for our Earth heroes. Now, while sure, the argument can of course be made that Aurora functions pretty acceptably in the budget formats, Flooring and Verdance really don't. And a hero like Azalea, is he even functionally playable without his Sigil of Brilliance and Gone in a Flash? As a new intro class, Gravy Bones came with a full complement of his crew at all rarities. But as pirate counterparts Marlin and Puffin, they really don't function at all without their Majestics. And for the Hunted, Fang is definitely playable without his Majestics, but Syndra and Mario really struggle without Flick Knives. And as a legendary rarity equipment piece, not reprinted in that set, that's a tough pill to swallow for sure. As I see it, the more recent hero designs suggest a move towards heroes being but one piece within the overall archetype. The hero's ability, while powerful, is now often intertwined with a broader ecosystem of synergistic cards, many of which, of course, reside at the higher rarities. The hero acts as a crucial activator or enabler for a complex engine, rather than being the engine itself. This design fosters deeper, more intricate interactions in high-rarity formats, rewarding players for assembling finely tuned, highly synergistic card pools. Now, this is by no means a negative development for Classic Constructed, where the expansive card pool allows these intricate archetypes to flourish. However, it does present a challenge for budget formats, and to the point of the comment inspiring today's discussion, it also makes it clear that the heroes themselves have over time indeed become less powerful. Not less powerful within the overall game, but rather less powerful as a single individual piece. Because hey, once the supporting cast is removed, these heroes do struggle to perform on their own. So why exactly the design shift? Is it that all the original ideas are functionally used up at this point and the only path for expansion lies in complexity? Or is it an intended move to favor the card pool over heroes, kind of a head nod to the fact that Flesh and Blood has proven that as a game, it's here to stay for the long term? Or is it actually something perhaps a little more sinister? Because let's admit it, certainly a side benefit to this design choice serves as a clear commercial purpose to sell booster boxes. When a hero's optimal performance is tied to specific desirable Majestics, players are, of course, incentivized to open more packs to acquire these crucial pieces. This creates a chase for powerful cards at a rarity that's more accessible than legendaries, but still significant enough to drive product sales. Take a card like Saber Bloodshed, a near-staple piece in Fang and Marionette that commands some pretty crazy prices even for heroes that are not necessarily dominating top 8s. And of course, the aforementioned Felling of the Crown, which has become a new Earth hero staple and is pretty unacceptably high in price for such an essential piece and has, as such, already demanded a reprint. But the demand for cards like this lies where it is, because without these complementary pieces that can truly unlock the hero's strength, newer heroes can often feel disjointed and less impactful, with their complex, more card-dependent abilities often really underutilized or, in some cases, even irrelevant, right? Now, look, let's be clear here, okay? Not every hero can be good in every format. We get that. But as more and more heroes are entering the scene that really just cannot function at the budget level, meaning without their supporting pieces, it does point to an overall design philosophy shift. So what do you think? Do you agree? Let me know below. I'd love to have you weigh in with your thoughts and get the conversation going. But for now, what I do know is that while of course the allure of shiny new heroes is strong, that the enduring power of the game's OGs within the budget format serves as a potent reminder that sometimes simplicity and a well-defined core strategy can be just as, if not more, effective. So thanks for watching, my friends, and go Commando.